Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Oh, trust me.
First of all.
Oh, is this PG?
This is my channel is PG-13. Let's keep it.
Okay. I apologize.
We like to educate here.
I apologize.
This man likes to take it to the next level. Oh, let's not.
Okay. All right,
Thank you for showing me the world. You know that you are my one and only girl. Got you in my ear saying, don't do me less to your head.
What's up, YouTube? Jenny here again, but today we have a special guest in the building.
Special.
Not that special, let's be clear. Just basic. I mean, I figured I'd been talking about the guy for, what, 3 episodes now? He might as well show up and, speak for himself. So...
Yeah, something I don't get to do often.
Anyway,
let's try that.
Can you introduce yourself to our followers?
I am P2 squared, P Dizzy, P Wheezy,
Or just Paul. Like, literally just plain old Paul. Let's not complicate life, as he likes to do. So no, I really thought it would be interesting to bring my husband on the channel for this 4th episode. Because again, like I said, I figured I've been talking about him for a long time. But I really wanted to understand and let you guys in on what his perspective is going through all of this. And just really get some insight, basically, from a black man going through infertility. So, and it's not something you see very often. So I think it would be good and interesting to see what's in the mind of Paul.
But I would say in general, I mean, not just, maybe you can speak to it more than I can.
Okay.
I wouldn't say, black male perspective. I guess in general, just a male perspective. I don't think males in general are very open to talking to people about this thing.
I would have to agree, but I think a little pushback would just be basically there's a lot of white males and Asian males that are like, hey guys, we are going through this, and holding their wives or spouses or partner's hand through all of this. But you usually see the black woman like being open about it, kind of alone. So
Gotcha.
Again.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we'll start with from the beginning. We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning, but really I just want to know, when we found out that, hey guys, Jenny's not the only one with a problem. Paul has some issues too. How did that make you feel?
Oh man, how did that make me feel?
Yes. Your ego.
I mean, it was confusing. I guess it took me some time to wrap my head around it and to understand the words that were coming out of the doctor's mouth. Like,
me?
Like I was like something has to be wrong with their diagnosis. But it was strange. If that's all I could really say. And I was like, yeah, let's definitely do these tests on me. Let's look at these
let's examine them some more.
Because I just don't see how. How
low sperm count.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, low sperm count. I don't see how. And initially, I don't think like ego was bruised by any sense, or masculinity was put into question.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as time went along, I just started to ask myself questions like, oh man, like I wonder how Jenny views me now, and try to bring myself to the point where I could talk to you about that and just let you know, hey, here's what I'm feeling. Here's what's going on inside this head of mine.
I think it's interesting you bring up like how I feel, because again, I think you just said something like, oh, it's not about the ego. But at the same time, like the underlying issue is it is kind of sort of about the ego, because it's like,
oh yeah, most definitely.
This is my wife here, and this is what we've just learned.
Most definitely.
Does she still view me as a man? Does she, can you go a little bit into that, like how we navigated that?
I had to brain myself to the point where I could first, talk about it or express it. Initially a lot of it was internalized, just going through it, on my own. Till today, like I don't think I've ever shared this with any other males, except probably 2 other males that I shared this with when I had the actual procedure done for.
You had the varicocele.
Varicocele.
Yeah.
I never really shared it with anyone. And mostly, partly because it's an ego thing, a masculinity thing. Don't want to have my masculinity questioned in any sense or any regard.
Right.
But to answer your question, I had to first, bring myself to the point where I was comfortable expressing myself or talking to you about it. I don't think initially I was, but kind of built up the courage and kind of talked myself saying, like, and this has really nothing to do with your masculinity, Paul. Like,
right.
it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Oh, trust me.
First of all.
Oh, is this PG?
This is my channel is PG-13. Let's keep it.
Okay. I apologize.
We like to educate here.
I apologize.
This man likes to take it to the next level. Let's not.
Okay. All right. We'll save that for.
Anyway, so yeah, and I remember when you actually, again, like you said, brought yourself up to actually having the conversation with me. How do you view me? And I think I was not shocked, but just like, seriously? Like, how could you even have a thought like that? Yeah. It's like, dude, this is happening again. Because for me, I think because you didn't have any resources or examples, or you weren't on YouTube 24/7, you weren't on Google 24/7. Yeah. Therefore, you thought like, oh, I must be the only one going through this, or
well, I mean, because like there's a natural connection between manhood and the reproductive system.
Yes.
Or something is off in that realm, it just kind of finds its way back to manhood, right? Or what would define things that go along with manhood. Yeah. And I've never talked to any guys about it, so I don't know how other guys felt, but I can say, personally how I feel. Like I was just like a little uncomfortable, and I had to discuss that with her. Mm-hmm. Just to let her know, like, hey, here, I probably know this, this is not what you're thinking, but I just want to let you know, this is how I'm feeling.
I think one of the interesting thing is, again, going along with the fact that you have to have a conversation with me, I think going through the experience of infertility period. So whether it's you, me, I think it's just interesting you bring up conversation and being open about, hey, this is how I'm feeling, because I feel like throughout our process, in a lot of ways, we also had to do a lot of check-ins. Mm-hmm. Like, this is how I'm feeling. Or this sucked.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. Well, I would say definitely on your end, and it's part of being a good partner is outside. You already have to continually check on your partner and
right, the relationship and the health
and their mental state. I would say even more so during infertility journey because manhood aside, like that's one part, but womanhood, it's, for generations, throughout all history has been defined by your ability to produce, heirs for the men. If you put it like that. Definitely just having to constantly check on your mental state and making sure you're good. And I think it, because we were doing so much of it together, like, going to all the doctors together. God. Like, I think like it kind of built like a closer
bond, because you're basically forced to be with, I don't want to say forced, but it's like I'm in your face 24/7, you're in my face 24/7, and this is how it's gonna be. Don't you it? He enjoyed every minute. Okay. I think one of the clear things I could remember is after our egg extraction, or like our egg retrieval. Mm-hmm. And when we both were just like
yeah.
Can you talk about that?
The whole process is it's truly amazing.
Yeah.
Like the medical or scientific advancements, and especially in the realm of reproduction,
ridiculous.
I just praise God for the knowledge that He's given to these doctors and these scientists and what they're able to do. It's truly amazing how they're able to, somewhat alter the human body to do things that are outside of what. Yeah, that's amazing. But the whole process, right? It's like a story that you're reading. And it has, the beginning, and then you're just going through it, and the climax, right? Of course, the apex or the climax is just like when, we brought in our baby boy. But that too, that was just the building of it, like, oh man, like how many eggs are you gonna get?
I really wanted that dark cloud that followed you, or that followed us to just,
Why would you call it a dark cloud? Man?
Because when she walked in, it was just a dark cloud. Like, it really was. Like she just walked in so defeated and just like.
What do you mean defeated?
Like when she walked in, she was like, "I know we talked about 9 eggs, and now it's 4 eggs."
I didn't view it as a dark cloud or as a defeat. I viewed it as like, God in His providence has gave us,
exactly what we needed.
The number that we
I was like, we're just about to have 3 kids, okay?
That's yeah.
I can agree with that, but for me, it's just her facial expression, like the whole thing. I can appreciate that you don't view it as a dark cloud.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't view it as a dark
and that you understand that okay, this is the Lord's will. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
And especially after what our doctor told us, like these are your 3 kids. You start praying for them right now.
Yeah, immediately.
Start praying for them immediately.
Okay, now that we are here, we get these eggs, we get these embryos.
Mm-hmm.
That whole week for you, what was that like? Because I know what that was like for me. What was that whole waiting for the fertilization process to take place?
Yeah.
Waiting for everything to work out.
Yeah. No, it's like just made everything worth it, right? All the needles, like that was a whole experience on its own.
Yeah. Paul had to play nurse.
Yeah, I was.
He's never been in nursing school once.
It just made everything like worth it, sort of say like, oh, like this is what comes out of it.
This is good.
This is what comes out of it. Like you did all of this, because I was honestly I didn't do any research on this stuff, and I'm just learning as it goes.
Yeah.
So you probably were doing a lot of research.
Okay.
And so nothing really
the verbal was like, listen, no. Yeah. I think if we can roll back a little bit, when the doctor says, okay, gland in your frontal lobe, all of that, you have to be on Clomid.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's very interesting, and I think many people experience this when they get a medical diagnosis. Like they start to go back to their childhood, or just starting to go back to things like just try to connect these dots. Like, well, I have this maybe because I had that, and I also have this because I have that. And something else crazy about that. And so that honestly, that's what was going through my mind. Like I was trying to make all these connections. Like, just because I was I really was so ignorant about this thing. I was like, I remember making a comment to the doctors like, well, is this hereditary? And I was like, well, of course it can't be hereditary because you're here, you're here. And
your daddy did not have IVF.
Yeah, it might.
Or your parents.
Yeah.
So
no IVF from my parents. So we said, okay, you have this issue. We think we need to do an outpatient procedure. And that was my first time having any type of procedure at all, like being in a hospital. Probably the best sleep I ever got.
Oh my God. Till this. I cannot.
Yeah.
Till this day.
The best sleep I probably got.
We've been on vacation. Don't say till this day.
No, that was some deep sleep. when they put me under. But anyway, so had that procedure done, came out. I thought like the numbers were going to just improve.
2 seconds.
This is we're just going to improve. And then it didn't really improve. It got a little better.
No. After the very Caselli's, it got better.
It got better. But I don't think it was like.
It was never at the point that they wanted it. At the 20 million.
It was never it was never average.
No.
Where they wanted it. And so they started putting me on different medication, which helped. But I think you doing your research, and we started supplementing it with other natural
powder, all of these things. We literally changed our way of living.
Yeah, changed our way of living, changed our diet
completely. You kept exercising or tried to?
I never stopped exercising, which is what made initial diagnosis just really interesting because I'm a healthy individual, clearly not obese or overweight, and no one really in my family really suffers with those issues. No high blood pressure, I don't smoke weed, I don't crack, alcoholic, all these things that contribute to low sperm count. I did not meet any of those criteria.
And here you are.
And here I was. And that's until today that just baffles me, and it's very interesting.
Yes.
And truly wondered, how many, guys, suffer from this.
And just keep going about their day and not even know.
Yeah, not even knowing until it's time to get there. And if they knew earlier, they probably would have changed their diet earlier and done things.
Change their way of living.
Along
those same lines. So I asked you, how is it for you from your perspective going through it? How is it for you witnessing somebody you love go through that?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So for me, going back to like fibroids, the surgery, the sickness, PICC line at home, like the whole nine.
Yeah. I mean, Jenny's extra.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
And by extra, he really means I know what I'm talking about.
Sure, we'll go with that. So watching someone you love go through it, there's a certain beauty to it because we're really just going through it together.
Right.
There's just a certain beauty to it. You're going through this thing together. You're experiencing this thing together. Both for the first time. It's bringing you closer. Like a lot of things that used to matter, start to not to matter too much. You start to matter less. It's kind of always been like a workaholic, but I think around that time, it started to diminish because I was no, I want to get home in time to administer the shot to you because I just want to be the one to do it.
Right.
No, not that I don't trust you, that you would trust yourself.
I did it the first time.
I don't trust you.
He's okay.
I just wanted to be there to do it. I wanted to be a part of the process.
Right.
Because
didn't make you feel like you're contributing something other than you're the ones.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. I didn't want you going through this by yourself, and wanted to make sure that I was contributing and doing my part and helping you throughout the whole process.
Look at you, being a good husband.
Look at me.
Oh my God. I'm not doing time too.
Checking on you?
Yeah, just how are you feeling? Because again, especially
you have to. You have to do the constant check-ins. You have to constantly ask questions. How's your mental state? How are you feeling? How's your body reacting to these things? Because these things really do have an impact or effect on your body.
I mean, you saw me look like I was pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, not to the full extent that you are now.
Yeah.
And
but
I said 3 months.
I saw you a little more bloated than usual. we'll go with that. But the effect that it has had on your body.
It was rough.
Women, man, you guys are truly just amazing and strong. Your ability to do this, is truly amazing.
So fast forward just a tad. We found out we're pregnant.
Yeah.
What are your feelings at this point?
I think our emotions and everything else started to come in line with those who, conceive, naturally. We started, our whole routine of watching what to expect when expecting. Every Sunday night, didn't miss a week. And so that was fun. And then, to, make sure that I went to every single appointment. Never missed the one. I don't care. Never. Fast forward, find out that we're pregnant. And we just Jenny's extra.
Always.
And she and I do appreciate her for it because she takes time to celebrate every single milestone, every single little thing. And she's somewhat put that imprint on me where I now, want to celebrate milestones as well.
Always.
Thursday is I love you anniversary. Thursday's yeah.
July 30th. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, that's when she said
I love you to him after 2 years.
Yeah.
Of him saying I love you to me.
Something like that. Like I said, extra.
I can't.
But yeah, no, you. I mean, it was fun just going through that whole process. The gender reveal.
Oh my gosh. A lot of the questions that I get every time somebody views even till this day, every time somebody views our gender reveal, it's like Paul's excitement is so just so contagious is the word they use. It's like calm down. Your excitement is contagious, not you. They were saying your excitement is so contagious that literally people come to view it just so they can like feel better for the day or something.
Yeah, that was pure unadulterated excitement from your boy. But no, that was great. I mean, like the whole week leading up to that, the whole process leading up to that, we're like, I was saying like, yeah, I want a girl, like, I want a girl, I want a girl. That's what I was telling her.
See the previous video, please, when he says, Chloe, I know y'all watched, and then this happens.
Yeah, and then but then for like a split second, I literally like just blacked out in a good sense, where I just forgot any expectation of boy, girl, and it was just like I was just happy, to know we had this little bundle of joy coming into the world, and now I was not able to put a sex to it.
The only thing I want to touch on is the birthing experience. So I guess a little background for people. Because I had the myomectomy, I automatically could not, or according to my doctors, I could not push. So I had to have a scheduled C-section. And again, this is like them cutting you open, but your eyes are wide open. And Paul was in the OR room with me, and it was just an experience, like an outer body experience. So I really want to know from his perspective, like, what was that feeling like for you?
I mean, I think, it's all summed up in the fact that I'm in an operating room.
Paul's like, I am a doctor.
Honestly, that's what it is. Like, it's an operating room. Like, I could never forget that smell of blood.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, it was a strong smell of just blood, and then you see the blood on the floor, the blood like on the bed, just dripping down everything. So that's that.
Yeah.
But then, when they finally get, baby boy out, then you hear her cry for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how did that feel? So it's like they take the baby out, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, like I'm really attached.
That's exactly what it was, like, oh shoot.
Like this is really happening. This is not a theory anymore.
I'm a dad. Shoot.
And I just remembered, you're just like, oh my God, he's here.
Like, excitement, expression, stuff like I was.
And you're like, is he gonna pass out?
I was like, no, I'm not gonna pass out. Like, let's rock and roll. Like, we made it this far.
Yeah, okay, listen.
Let's do it.
But we're gonna have this room, honey.
So yeah, so then they get him out. I remember you saying like, you feel like an elephant is on your chest or something like that.
Yeah.
They said yes, that's the pressure of us getting him out. Then they pull him out. Then like it's just silence. For like a brief second. Brief second of silence, and then although you just hear this wailing, and I'm like, oh my God, he's crying! Oh my God, he's crying! It's him. And then they bring him over.
And then they put him on my chest like immediately. Yeah, I think it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
But I think this was good. I think again, overall, would you go through this experience if you knew then what you know now?
Mm-hmm.
Would you go through this experience again? And how would you feel as a man, like them giving you a list of like, hey, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, this is what needs fixed, all of that?
I would, to answer your first question, definitely go through this experience again. It's worth it.
Right.
I have not experienced joy. I've known greater joy than having my son here with me, and having the ability to raise him, to experience this life of a father with him. It's a great experience. So I would definitely go through it again because it's all worth it at the end. There is just this natural connection between what we define as manhood and the reproductive system, and when something is not right there, it automatically tends to be emasculating. But I would say that I've learned that the reproductive system is one thing, but being a man, and what makes you a man is kind of separate. I would say.
Paul, you better.
No,
I was just about to ask. No, for real. My last question to you was gonna be, what would be the lessons learned? What would be the lessons learned that you would tell any man that would come to you right now and say, Paul, guess what? What you went through, I'm going through it. So I think that's like very key that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I would definitely say you're not alone. For the simple fact that there is medical focus on this, let you know that it's not something that's really uncommon, right?
Right.
And there are men who go through this, for reasons that cannot be explained. With that being said, there's nothing really to fear, and you should, just go ahead for it and tackle it on. You should always be doing this, but make sure that you're communicating with your wife,
yes.
With your partner, how you're feeling, and don't bottle things up, don't keep things inside, but, express how you're feeling. I mean, that's what they're there for, for that, they're also there for emotional support. One thing that I truly learned, and one thing that I continue to learn too today, is that women are truly different than men, and I think it's more pronounced, during such a process. But you have to truly just be supportive
and just be there
in that area. I don't expect to understand, everything that she's going through, a roller coaster ride of emotions. Don't expect to understand all that, but just expect just be there. Just be there. Just a shoulder, a hand, a massage.
What I just would like to add is really like, seriously, thank you, babe, for not only, again, this man doesn't, I know he's like showing off right now, but he is as private as they come. And I think it was really important for when I brought this up to him, I'm like, by the way, in all of my research, I have not found a black man that said, hey, here I am. So I really, truly want to thank you for,
here I am. I'm sorry.
So annoying. I really wanted to thank you for just allowing me to be, and allowing me to share our story, because again, I know feedback has been like, Paul let you do this?
Yeah.
Or,
Paul let you do
yeah.
this.
Okay, number one. Number one. No, but seriously,
you do not let Jimmy do things.
First of all,
you not simply let.
First of all, no, but seriously, just really having your story tell a story is just like beyond.
This story is more yours than it is mine. Like, this is truly your story.
Yeah.
And
it's our story,
Yeah, it's definitely our story. But I mean, you're the main character, and I'm 100% fine with that. And I want you to have the freedom to tell the story, to educate or to help people who are going through this, whatever emotions they're going through. My story can help bridge, any gaps or anything to nature. Please feel free to share your story, and that's what
you're the real MVP. Yeah, no, I was gonna say you're seriously the real MVP.
When we tell our stories, we come to see how more we are alike than we are different.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we share stories, and so we tell our stories.
So I do really want to thank you for that, Shady.
You're welcome.
Again, as y'all know, I'm very extra. Okay. I remember even our announcement, like our big announcement, I was like, I want a board and I want to list everything that we've been through.
Yeah.
And Bo was just like, okay, just spread the board and let me know. So again, he
Story
is, like
of my
I
life. Okay, just let me know.
No.
Okay, just let me know. Okay.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to not make it seem like if y'all know Paul, you know Paul. Okay, listen, it is nothing like that. She will go back and forth with you.
She is the Kobe Bryant on the team. It's
I like Kobe.
That's the gym.
No, but seriously, so I really truly want to thank you for that, because again, a lot of men just feel like, oh, if our story's out there, then people are gonna look at me less than. So in the fact that not that you didn't care about that, but you were just like, I think educating is more than my ego.
Yeah, no. At a certain point, I mean, I think it's a process, or it goes along with maturity, along with growth. At a certain point, you just start to not really care how people, view you. Like,
period.
You know who you are.
Right.
I know how I'm viewed among those that love me, or those who know me the best. At a certain point, that really, it's really all that matters.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel? Oh God.
Feeling good.
By the way, again, like I said, this man is super private. So the fact that he would get on the interwebs with me is beyond, okay? You guys will probably see him never. Will you come back again? No, I'm just saying, would you come back again?
I don't know.
Because
here's what. YouTube, if you want me back.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
subscribe. No, just kidding. No, if you
Yes, that's energy. That's energy.
no, honestly, if you guys want me back, back to share, my story or share anything else, or talk about anything else, please feel free, let her know, and I would, I'll consider it. I'll have my people, reach out to your people.
Pray for my husband. Anyway, like I said, YouTube, thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope this was super helpful from Paul's perspective. Again, thank you, babe. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me to, to do this.
You're welcome. Don't get used to it. No, but seriously though. But seriously though, guys, thank you again. And this is our, IVF journey through a male's perspective. And we really hope you come back to the channel. Until next time. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
And sing.
Oh, wow. Bye, guys.